Episode 35. Wow, we're on episode 35 of the Recap Room. That feels almost not. It doesn't even feel real, honestly, that we've gotten to 35 episodes. I think they say podcasts, like 90% of them don't make us past episode 10, so we're batting above average. But to start us off, our new weekly segment. Coming off, Gordy only wants to do this if the Bears win, but the Bears did win. So we're going to have a Bears update and then get into the bulk of the episode, which is going to be about the fall market and everything that you need to know about getting ready for the fall market in Chicago. It's a great time to buy, honestly. Probably not the best time to sell, if we're being honest, because you can't have both. But Gordy, come on in. Tell me about I was actually at the Bears game. Bears versus Saints. It was on October 19th. So this episode will come out next week. So it might be a little late, but talk to the mic, project.
I would project. Well, we didn't do Victory Monday for the Commanders, so it's a double victory. Well, I guess Monday and Tuesday because that was a Monday night game. But let me tell you, that was an ugly game, ugly win. Caleb looked terrible. I'm not going to apologize for a win, though, because a lot of people were coming at me. Oh, Caleb was horrible. So what? They won. They're 4-2. The Saints are a bad team, and they used to never beat these bad teams, so beating them now, we're progressing. Next time, we have to just dominate them. It was this Caleb Williams versus Spencer Rattler Bowl, if you don't know. They both were at Oklahoma in college when Rattler was the starting QB. Caleb was coming in, and the fans were chanting, "We want Caleb Williams." So it was rattling Rattler. He played like crap. Michael was at the game. The weather was bad at the start, but it got better, right?
Weather got better. First half was a little
what was the atmosphere like? Was the environment, were they like rocking, or were they like, uh-oh?
I would say, as always, thank you for passing the mic to me. Fans, dude, Bears fans are crazy. Like, the thing I love about going to Bears games, and I'm not even like a diehard like Gordy is, I can't lie about it, but what I love is that the city rallies behind the Bears. Like, it's different than any other sport. I'm telling you, I've been to Blackhawks games, I've been to Bulls games, I've been to everything. It's different with the Bears. Bears, it's everything about Chicago. It's gritty, the people there, like, it's not like super high class, like hoity-toity suiting as I'm wearing a suit. But like, it's not people like that always. There's most of the people there are just your hardworking Chicago gritty fans. Like, I love it. So,
dude, they're amazing, and the environment's good. Like, I'm telling you, whenever they build this new stadium, like, it's going to be amazing for this fan base because there's so many Bears fans out there, and we have the smallest stadium in the NFL. So, like, we're holding ourselves back. I mean, I don't know why we're doing that. And the field sucks. Did you see the field? The grass looks horrible.
Hot seat field.
The hot seat field. Hot seat George McCaskey. He's too busy reffing girls' flag football games instead of owning this team. It's starting to really drive me nuts. But 4-2, heading into, I think we're playing Baltimore, which I'm a little bit nervous about because the GOAT, Lamar Jackson, is coming back, and I'm very scared that he is going to destroy us. But if we beat Baltimore,
Super Bowl.
I'm not going to say playoffs, but this is eerily similar to 2018. We were 4-2. We won 4 in a row, 2018. We get tons of takeaways, 2018. Like, the only thing that's scaring me is, like, Mitch was kind of like, is he going to be good? In 2018, obviously, we know not good. Caleb kind of in that similar path where it's like, he's fine, but he hasn't progressed to, like, the superstar that I want him to be. It might be the nail polish. I'm starting to... He was like gripping his hand, and they zoomed in, and it was like, I saw the nail polish. I'm like, just move on. I don't know. There were still a lot of mistakes made, but listen, a win's a win. 4 in a row. You can't be mad about 4 in a row. I just need Caleb Williams to step up, be a little bit better. He was very inconsistent. So next week, Baltimore. And if we lose, I'll come back on, and I'll talk about the game only for a short while before I lose my mind. So that's it. I'll let Michael do the fall buyers. Enjoy.
One last thing. So I have access to the Recap Group YouTube page along with Gordy and everybody on the team. But Gordy's the one who posts the podcast. And so I could see the history of what people are watching on the account. And the only person who's ever really logged in besides me is Gordy. Gordy's logged in way more than me. And so I just am on there one day, and I'm on the account, and I look at the history, and it's Week 1, Week 2, Week 3 summaries of Caleb Williams. They're like hour-and-a-half long videos, 2-hour long, in-depth. Like, I don't even know what it is. Like, how can you be analyzing somebody for that long? And Gordy's watching all of them.
Hold on, time out. First off, that was a complete accident. It was not supposed to be on the Recap account. But this is the all 22 film. You have to watch if you don't watch your QB in every single play he makes, you don't rewatch it after the games, you're not a real fan. You got to know if he's good or not, and you got to know ball. I mean, it was an accident. It was on the recap account. I'm never going to live that down, but whatever. Listen, best QB school, watch him. He's got the best breakdowns of QBs ever. Caleb Williams might be good. Who knows?
Yeah, so that's that. Gordy is our super fan, but getting to the rest of today's episode, we are a real estate team. We are a real estate podcast at the end of the day. But I like to add a little flair, make it fun, make it enjoyable. And if you're a Bears fan, I'm sure you get enjoyment out of that. Even if you're not, if you're just a football fan. But today I want to talk about the fall market, what we're seeing. It's October 20th as of today. Podcast will come out next week. So we're in the throes of the fall market. And what does that mean for you? If you're a buyer, if you're a seller, if you're thinking about buying, thinking about selling, wherever you kind of are, renting, it all comes into play when you're talking about the fall market. I think fall is the sweet spot for buyers. I think it's a great opportunity to get in the market before we get into the spring. Now, what people don't understand about the Chicago market in particular is that the spring market doesn't start in the spring. The spring market, I feel like every year starts earlier and earlier. I tell people, I say the spring market starts after January 1st. Once we get to January 1st, everything takes off like a rocket ship. So January is still winter, but I call it the spring market because everything in Chicago is tied to the leasing cycles. So Chicago is one of the most rent-heavy cities in the country. Leases in Chicago end usually in the summer months because nobody likes moving in the winter. So that's, April, May, June, July, August, right? So most people's leases are expiring and they're moving into new rentals or thinking about buying at that point. So what we see in the fall market is we see increased days on market. We see, obviously, inventories aren't as high, but it compensates by the fact that there's less demand. So yes, in the fall market, are you going to be getting as many options as you will in the spring? No, but you're also not going to be feeling like you're overpaying on a property, whereas in the spring market, comps don't matter, price doesn't matter. People are throwing out offers left and right that don't even make sense, stuff that even surprises me, but that's just what it comes down to. So what we tell a lot of our clients that are looking to, the people that are a little bit less inclined to want to pay I don't even want to say full price, but feel like they're overpaying. And the reason I say feel like they're overpaying, because at the end of the day, property's worth as much as somebody's willing to pay for it. But let's just throw out an example, right? A property comes on the market for $500,000, a 2-bed, 2-bath in Lakeview. That could go for $100,000 over in the spring. That same property in the fall might go for, $10,000 to $20,000 over asking price instead of $100,000. Like there's that big of a delta in the time of year that you're looking. And Chicago's cyclical. So the reason why people can, I don't want to say predict what the market's going to do, but get an idea is because every year it kind of follows those trends. So, if you are looking to buy in the fall, it's a great opportunity for you to get in and not feel like you're overpaying on something. And for a lot of first-time buyers, that is a nice aspect because it's a little bit daunting to go into a spring market and get thrown into that and be in bidding war central and feeling like you're having to overpay on something, especially if it's your first time doing it. Let's see here what else I got on the docket. I think what we're looking to in terms of rents in the fall and winter, rents in the fall and winter tend to fall. That's just the way it is. You're going to get the best deal on rentals and the best deal on buying and selling in the fall and winter. Again, like I said, less inventory. Most people's leases expire in the spring and summer. So in the fall and winter, what's going to end up happening is they're going to try and get you to sign a longer lease to get you back into that spring or summer cycle. No landlord wants their leases to expire in the fall and winter. They always want them to expire in the spring and summer because it's a lot easier for them if you do decide to move to refill that unit. And when they do refill that unit, they can get a higher price than what they would be able to if they were listed in November or December. So you're going to be seeing a lot of that. And as we move into 2026, you're going to see rents continue to go up. Chicago is lagging behind pretty much all major cities right now in terms of new construction for multifamily housing. We have significantly less units coming onto the market for residential apartments in comparison to other cities. So with lower inventory, it's all supply and demand. You have you have too much demand for the supply, and that's not going to be changing anytime soon. So that's why I think if you are looking to potentially get into the market to buy, the fall is a great time, even if you're not going to buy right now, to at least start to open up those conversations, because you're going to see in 2026, if you're renting right now, that you're going to get your renewal letter and your rent's going to go up. There's pretty much a guarantee of that. It's very unlikely that you won't. The typical things we see with fall buyers too is that they're a little bit less, since they know they have, I don't want to say the upper hand, because in markets like Lincoln Park, Lakeview, Wicker, Bucktown, the outskirt neighborhoods in the city, it still is going to be a seller's market. It's just not going to be as heavy as a seller's market. What we see from these buyers, they're a little bit more apprehensive to jump on things because they know that they don't necessarily have to. And a lot of these people looking in the fall, they don't have to be buying, right? Because if they're looking to buy in the fall, they probably will still have a lease that's expiring in the spring or summer if they're living in a rental. So they're kind of like, they're not, if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 of like how serious they are to jump in and get the deal done, fall buyers may be like at a 5, 6, whereas like if you're going to look in the spring and you're serious about it, you got to be at like a 9 or 10, because that's what you're going up against. So for buyers, the advice to them is use it to your advantage. Use the fall market to your advantage. You're going to have an opportunity to get out there and get a deal that you otherwise may not be able to get. And I can promise you, if that same unit comes on the market in the spring, it's going to go with more offers for a higher price. So use that to your advantage, right? Like, don't feel, yes, you're going to get a little bit less inventory and a little bit less options. But if you're fine with that and you want to feel like you came out ahead, use that to your advantage. For sellers, understand what that means. If you don't need to sell in the fall, I mean, depending on the property, I would recommend just try and hold off onto it. We have everything prepped to go right when the spring market hits, so we're not wasting any time. But again, you can't have it both ways. It can't be, I love when, there's never, if it's better for the sellers, it's worth for the buyers, and vice versa. It's like a teeter-totter. So it can't be both. You can't say, oh, it's a great time to buy and a great time to sell. I mean, that's a realtor talking point, in my opinion, because realtors make money on both ends of the sale. But at the end of the day, right, like the fall market is going to be a more advantage to the buyer in comparison to what it would be in the spring. So for your sellers, if you don't need to sell right now, get all the marketing done right now. Weather's pretty, leaves are changing. You can still get good marketing materials for the property, but maybe hold off on selling if you can. And if you can't, if you must sell right now for whatever life reason that throws at you, you have to price it accordingly, right? You can't look at the comps of what sold in March and be like, yep, that's what we're going to base our pricing off of. It's not, it doesn't work like that, right? Let's use our example of the $500,000 condo in Lakeview for $500,000 that sold for $6. You're not going to go list for $6 now, right? If you say you have the identical property, you can't go and say, okay, they got 600, I want 600 or 610 or 625, because it doesn't work like that. You should be listing that property somewhere around 550. Right? That's where you should be listing the property at. So be realistic with your expectations. And for renters, kind of like I said earlier, just be prepared to not have as many options and be signing a longer lease. You're probably going to be signing a lease that's going to get you into the spring or summer of 2020. What is that? Spring or summer of 2027. If you are going to want the best rate on a lease. Because a lot of places will not offer you the best rate on a lease if you sign a 12-month lease right now. They're going to offer you the best rate on a lease if you sign a lease from now until the spring or summer of 2027. So that's my spiel. That's what I got for you. Fall market is upon us. We're in the throes of it. And if you want to take advantage of it, now is a great time to be in the market to buy if you want to feel like you came out with the best deal. But then the spring and summer is the best market if you want to feel like you have the most options. Can't have it both ways, but we're just going to give it to you straight. As always, I appreciate you listening. Thanks for tuning into the Recap Room, and we will see you in 2 weeks for another episode.